Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Misfits and Termina episode 3. Got your boy King Majora here, and we got DigiFit, so I'm gonna start the show off right. So how you been, man?
I've been good, man. Just busy as hell.
Been busy, man. Get your grind on, working, shit like that.
Yeah, I finally got a job lined up, and I've been doing Lyft just to make extra money while I'm waiting to go to my training.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, I know you wanted
Hell
to
yeah,
talk
man.
about Three Eye Atlas, that thing that's coming in. I wanted to update you. Maybe this is what you had heard because you were telling me in messages that you wanted to talk about it. There's been a Harvard professor that's been talking about it, Avi Loeb, or Loeb, I think is how they say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's been saying, like, look, because of the trajectory of how this thing's coming in, and like the likelihood of all of the parameters that it's coming in with, right? It's like the likelihood that it's natural is like 0.000 something percent, and he's advocating that it's
Yeah, it's like
you know
005.
yeah, he's advocating that it's an extraterrestrial craft. Like I was saying, as the father of all white people, Yakub, on the very first episode. I mean, it's not verified, but like, you know, I was saying there were some
Yeah,
people saying that it might be alien. So what did you hear? What did you want to talk to about on it?
I'm not saying I heard it was aliens, but I heard it was aliens.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. Like it don't as it stands, it doesn't have. We don't see that it has a tail yet. For a normal comet, I think is what it was. I could be mistaken. But yeah, like I said, a Harvard professor saying it. Like he's saying it's probably a craft. It's all over these socials, and like I see all the YouTubers that talk about this shit saying, "Oh shit!" Like just today, I was listening, or it was either today or last night. I was listening to Avi Loeb talk about. Excuse me, and he was talking about all the weird like anomalies with it, like the trajectory, the plane, like that it's on. It's just so unlikely. So
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That it's like it's not like a normal formation, and that it's not moving like a normal object would. Like it's being propelled because there's no tail or anything.
yeah, like I said, it's even like the plane in which it's coming in is just so unlikely. Like even if it doesn't come
Mm-hmm.
here, it could. It's like people are saying it could be like a craft. Like I said, Harvard's professors even saying that. Like, well, not just the only Harvard professor, but I mean, it's come under scrutiny by some. But it's like, man, with all the UAP shit that's been coming out, I just wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is. I mean, there's been people that who have remote viewed it. I was telling
Mm-hmm.
you about remote viewing. Now they're claiming that it's a craft. You know, I don't know. It still has remained to be seen, but it's something interesting to keep an eye on, no doubt.
No, for sure. I mean, I love anything cosmic, anything like space, aliens, all that shit. And like being a kid, always wondering like what's out there, what like I want to know like what other life forms are out there, what do they look like, what do they do. So like part of me really hopes this is like when Earth finally gets to join the Galactic Federation and they're coming to like say, hey, so we've been studying you for a while. We have this club. We will grant you galactic travel and help you boost your technology. Welcome to the team. I really hope it's that and it's not War of the Worlds because that would
Yeah.
suck.
Well, that's interesting that you're bringing up this stuff. Another topic I wanted to bring up kind of brings up kind of the possibility. Um, you talk about
Mm-hmm.
the Galactic Federation. I don't know if I brought this up on the. I think I brought it up maybe on the first podcast, but it was like Israel's like former space security chief. I think his name is Hashim. I don't remember, but he was Israel's wow, he was Israel's ex security chief, and no, it was Ashid or something like that. But he said basically that that a galactic federation has been here, and that Trump knows about it. This was during his first administration. These articles were like coming out at like 2020. He basically said, "Look, I'm saying this now, like some people think the intention is like he's joking or he's this and that. He says, "Look, at this point, I have nothing to lose. I don't fear death. But there's a galactic federation here, and they're waiting to see how we develop and understand what spaceships are, and how they function." So that was what was he said that. I mean, this was Israel's former space security chief, of all people, to say something about it. That's not like a nomadic country whatsoever. I mean, that was also you know
Mm-hmm.
a space security chief saying that. Um,
Yeah.
it's big in New Age. What kind of galactic federation you think it's going to be? Like Rick and Morty, or like the Nordics that you always hear about?
I kind of want to be like Mass Effect.
You want to be like Mass Effect? Does Mass Effect have a galactic federation in it?
Hey, they have like in a sense, yeah, they have like a council where all like life forms come together and like have politics and shit. So,
No, yeah.
uh, I wouldn't want it to be like Star Wars because they're space racist in Star Wars.
You don't want the Sith to be here. You don't want to be the Sith.
Nah, dude, I'm good. I don't want
Damn.
Star Wars.
You don't
Um,
want Darth Vader to show up on your planet looking for Force sensitives.
no, because then he's gonna sense that I have extra chromosomes. I'm gonna be embarrassed.
Extra chromosomes. Hell no. Hell no.
Dude, I was talking to my friends the other day, speaking of chromosomes, and I was mentioning because I'm always like I have like more female friends than I do guy friends, and I'm always told I'm like the gay straight friend, and
Yeah.
because I'm in touch with my feminine side, I guess.
You're in touch with your feminine
comfortable with
side.
myself. Yeah, I guess so. I'm like
That's
I'll
always good,
I'll
though.
say
That's always
things are
good.
cute. Yeah, I'm not afraid to like say, "Oh, that's cute," or just like whatever, and just casual talking. Like that's just how I've always been. And they're talking about like, "Are you sure you're not gay, did you?" And I was like, "Listen, at this point, I'm pretty sure I was 1 or 2 chromosomes away from either being gay or fucking like a woman. I don't know."
Damn.
Yeah,
Hell no.
like I'm pretty sure it was a close call for me.
Well, you and I both know how to not take ourselves too seriously. I'm pretty
Dude, I never
comfortable in
take myself
myself.
seriously.
You know, most of the people who get like weirded out and fucked up over like homo jokes are like usually something they're hiding themselves.
I have never said a gay joke and said no homo after. That sounds so closeted when you say that. Like when you
Man,
say no homo after a gay joke, it's like, are you sure?
you sure
Are you
about
sure
that?
there was there just a little bit of homo in there? Like,
uh,
come on, bud.
but yeah, when we talk about
2025.
Atlas, that was something to keep an eye on. We're going to kind of segue into. You wanted to talk about the Jeffrey Epstein updates. Have you seen the latest on that?
Oh my god, yes. Okay, so like, not probably not the latest like you've seen because you definitely stay more up to date on things than I do. Sorry, I'm looking at my desk. I like had a popsicle last night, and there's like goopy shit all over like my mat, and I'm like rubbing water on it to get it to stop being sticky. But
Ooh.
um, so yeah, no, like so. My thing with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing is I think it's so funny watching Trump try to cover his ass and failing so miserably at it because the motherfucker, the whole election period, whenever he was asked about the Epstein files, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna show them. We're gonna show them. I have, the most beautiful, whatever he would say. Like I have the most tremendous amount of facts that you'll ever see. Like this is tremendous. The, the Epstein files are real. We're gonna show you. Just all that shit. All of his fucking
Well,
like
the
during
way
his
that I
election.
saw it, not to cut you off, he was like that for like everything else I had noticed. Like what you're
Yeah.
saying, he was like that really big with all these other things. But what I noticed is what he's like. He's always like beating around the bush. He's like, with those especially, he would say he was going to release them, and then like he said like recently, he said um I want to release them all, but I'm afraid people will get hurt. People who don't need to be hurt. It's like what, Of course I understand, but it's
Yeah, if
like
they're on the
you.
list, if they're in the books, they need to
Well,
be
he's
hurt. Like,
there's
fuck you.
so much connecting him and Epstein. Like we were talking before. I mean, it's sickening. Like, I'm coming from somebody that don't like either fucking side of the political spectrum, but this especially. I mean, having like Alan. We talked about this before. Alan Dershowitz, Ghislaine Maxwell, her father being a
Mm-hmm.
Mossad agent. Things like that. Oh, somebody said something. Streamer World said something with a heart eyed emoji. Hey, how you doing? But yeah, like
Hello.
yeah, as of recently, um, the recent thing is that the people in the government are trying to now they're probing and subpoenaing Hillary Clinton. I think Comey, Bill Clinton, like they're getting these people and they're trying to release the files now, but it's like they want to redact them and shit, and it's like, yeah, no shit, all these motherfuckers are dirty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All these motherfuckers are kissing the wall in Jerusalem, you know. Not to tangent too much, but this, I know you don't always like to get into the political side, but it's like this motherfucker. Do you know what he said? He's so in bed with these, the Jewish mob that he said, um, any state or city that boycotts Israel is getting their funding cut. Like, damn, a fucking foreign agent. Um, but yeah, the Epstein shit. It's just it keeps getting worse. I remember saying like, man, this will be the domino effect. No matter how much they release, this will be the initial catalyst that will end in such a disaster. Because it's a can of worms that you're opening. That I don't get the motives of these people who are so like dirty with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like why?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you even start doing it?
It's like Diddy and stuff too. It's the same shit.
Oh yeah, Diddy. How convenient that he gets off all the other charges, but then he gets this minor like charges. It's the same lawyer that was
Yeah,
after
all
Epstein.
the
It was like,
main things that we had irrefutable proof over, and they're like, nah, he didn't do it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
So
like, okay. Poor Justin Bieber, dude. We all laughed at him, but instead he was getting his booty clapped by fucking Sean Combs.
John Combs and that who was that meme that went out where he was fucking what's his name? Who was that he was fucking? I can't remember that they put out there was a meme.
Meek Mills.
Yeah, the Meek Mill shit. That was funny. Um, but yeah, like I said, there's so many places where they connect. Ghislaine, and Jeffrey Epstein, they prostituted someone from I can't remember her name from Mar-a-Lago. I mean, this whole thing with Trump recently, he was like over that, and like that's how they had their falling out with that and business arrangements and going foul and them taking an employee type shit. But the funny thing
Yeah.
about that is he says all this shit, but that infamous quote where he's like, Jeffrey is a terrific guy. I've known him for 15 years. Definitely likes him on the younger side. That quote came out after what he claims he distanced himself. See, it's just getting
Mm-hmm.
ugly. Um,
Dude, Trump should dig himself a deeper hole because, and not only that, anything he does lately just makes himself look more guilty. Like stating that the list doesn't exist. It's like, dude, we've known about the list for the past almost 5 years now, that since everything's came out, and it's like, dude, we've known about all this. It's all public knowledge. A lot of that shit's already been on the internet. You can still find it. A lot of it's been like eradicated, deleted, whatever. But there's still people with the information. There's still like all the shit we've seen before, all the allegations, all the stories from the women coming out and talking about it, and then there's the pictures of Trump with Epstein, all this shit, and it's like, dude, like we know, we don't care, like we know the truth, we know that you're like somehow, involved with Epstein. No one's claiming that he's a pedo, but it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if Trump was, because look at the guy, the way he talks to people, the way he acts, like definitely he's with the elitists, the way he backs up all like the shitty people in Hollywood, like talking about pardoning fucking Diddy, like all this shit. It's like, dude, everything Trump does, it just makes himself look worse and worse just by association. He doesn't have to do anything. It's just, dude, like he associates with these people, he defends them. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah, he's definitely 180 for sure. Like he's losing his base like crazy. I mean,
Dude, it's
Bob
funny.
Diamond.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, living in Springfield, dude, I see every day people with Trump flags everywhere. And like it's funny because I will see the same trucks with the flying flags on their beds and shit, and the houses with Trump flags. Well, dude, I've been seeing those disappear.
Well, yeah, he's
Like
proven
he is
himself.
losing support.
He's proven that he's not anti-war. I mean, his extremism with
Mm-hmm.
Israel. Like when the world is turning on Israel, I was going to bring up a lot of that later on. Um, it's unpopular to support Israel now. I mean, the Jeffrey Epstein shit. I mean, he's backpedaled. He's become basically a generic rhino con, and his base is seeing right through this shit. I mean, so many people are like leaving the base in mass. I mean, not too many. He's become basically just a yet another evolution of George Bush. I mean, that's sad.
Honestly, he might be dumber than George Bush. Granted, he didn't cause 9/11 like George Bush did, but still.
Well, I mean, we all know my opinion on the events of September 11th. The Israeli involvement, the pro-Israeli lobby, and the agendas for the Oded Yanan plan. I mean, we can
Mm-hmm.
go into that at some point, but it's just like yeah, he is kind of fucking stupid. I mean, like all this about is like 5D chess. This is all trust the plan, QAnon. My Soviet Union based stay calm and just trust the plan narratives. This guy, he's so brilliant with his business. I mean, he went bankrupt in the fucking 90s. He had a failed casino venture, and then like literally he went billions of dollars in business debt and like over $1 billion in personal debt, and he was almost completely out of the game. And then the bankers basically said, look, he's worth more alive to us than dead. They actually said that. Like, you can look up the clip. It's like a CNN clip where they interviewed someone from the banks that bailed out Trump. It's like, look, he's worth more alive to us than dead. It's amazing how these motherfuckers thought him to be an outsider. Like how he pulled that trick is amazing. No
I
evidence whatsoever. I mean, it didn't help that they had his buddies in the media on both sides attacking him and applauding him, like keep illustrating that he's an outsider. I mean, all my establishment attacks him. That don't mean anything. Reverse psychology. I mean, but yeah, like,
mm-hmm.
excuse me. I mean, all of his extreme Zionist stances, you know, is just unbearable. The Epstein shit's gonna, excuse me, keep coming out. I mean, there's so many connections from like I said before, Alan Dershowitz, the mob lawyer that got Jeff off, near in the mid early 2000s, was is deep in the Trump like mythos. Steve Bannon, part of the cabinet, left the fucking Jeffrey Epstein building. When he was in there, like people had to back away. So I mean, there's way more than that. Like I was saying I think it was the first one we talked about, like Lady Ghislaine or Ghislaine, Lady Ghislaine, the ship that was bought from the half Saudi, half Jewish. You know, he owned yachts, and
Mm-hmm.
Trump got Lady Trump. That this man's connected, but there, this. There's just so many connections to people there's people in Congress in the House, and it's like you don't think so, but then this guy's actually like a stepson of or a nephew of this guy who was a lawyer for Ghislaine's dad, or something like that. And it's like the Ghislaine's dad is kind of like the whole nexus where a lot of this connects. And like I said, he was a Mossad agent. Um, the founder of Victoria's Secret was the one who, he's in Ohio actually, at least he was. Kind of got Epstein, the first big investments and pushes for Epstein into ascending into his wealth came from the owner of Victoria's Secret, and shit like that. His name escapes me right now, but yeah, there's all these connections, and like I said, Epstein was with one of the prime ministers of Israel. The name escapes me. They multiple times, like I'm assuming all of the all the intelligence agencies were using Epstein, but most likely, he's Jewish. It goes back to Mossad. So.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You want to? So you mentioned to me, we're kind of switching up now. Something a little bit different. You said you wanted to talk about Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's hear.
Because
I've been talking a lot, so you go ahead.
so I am super excited about Battlefield 6 because I'm a huge Battlefield fan. And right now it is making like big headlines in the gaming community because usually whenever there's a Battlefield and a Call of Duty game in the same year, all hell breaks loose because all the Call of Duty dick riders are all like, "Oh, Battlefield sucks," whatever, blah 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 blah. Well, Battlefield learned from their mistakes, and they pulled off one of the most hyped fucking gaming trailers ever.
No
And
shit.
it is causing huge like waves amongst Call of Duty fans. And there was a survey done with Call of Duty fans, and 80, almost 90% of like Call of Duty fans are more excited for Battlefield 6 than Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And it's just like, dude, me being the piece of shit that I am for hating Call of Duty for so many years, just feels so rewarded that finally Call of Duty has lost its edge. Because I know Call of Duty's not a game that you keep up with or that you even give two flying sharts about. But
No, I like the like the Modern Warfare. I like the story. I'm one of those who liked the story
yeah,
when it.
that's how I
But
am. I always played like the campaigns and shit. I never cared about the multiplayer. But the recent Call of Duty's like Black Ops 6, I did play for a little bit because I thought it was okay.
okay.
But so with Call of Duty lately, they have done nothing but just make it look like the biggest joke in the gaming industry. They keep adding all these wacky fucking character skins. So Modern Warfare started it. They started adding like Nicki Minaj and shit, and
Don't they have
just
Peter
adding all
Griffin in
these.
there now?
No, they have fucking Stan from American Dad and Roger.
No shit. I thought it was Peter Griffin.
Yeah, no, that's Fortnite.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I thought that they did add Family Guy as an operator, Peter Griffin.
No, they added Stan from American Dad,
Oh man,
and
I don't
they
know
added Roger.
okay, well I thought because I was watching some gaming channel talking about how, on the image for the video it was like Peter Griffin's now an operator.
Yeah, not that I've heard. I've heard it's well, not just heard. I've seen the pictures of Stan and Roger, like, and watched gameplay of them, and it's so fucking dumb. And but going back to it though, so what the Battlefield developers said, they said that the game will be grounded. It's going to be like realistic. There's not going to be any colorful anime skins and shit in the game. No crazy weapon skins. They're like, it's it's going to be realistic. It's Battlefield. And
Yeah, yeah.
fans are just like, holy shit. And dude, the trailer they showed for this shit, it's probably one of the coolest gaming trailers I have ever seen.
Okay, shit. Yeah, I follow Call of Duty a little bit more than I have Battlefield. To be honest, I don't know anything about Battlefield. I
Yeah,
I had
so
heard that it got really bad like at one or something like that.
yeah, so what I was gonna do is because Battlefield 2042 was a huge disappointment. Like, it sucked. Like, honestly, like, the game it's good now, but like when it first came out, it was rough. Like, it was not what we were promised. It's not what we were shown. So And it's because they didn't show like a proper gameplay trailer. They just showed off like the cool effects and stuff and did like the CG and shit like that. Well, this new trailer they actually break down things, show real gameplay and stuff. So what I was gonna do is I was actually gonna stream it in our thing because I already looked it up. This kind of stuff doesn't get copyright strikes because it's public like domain. So I was gonna play the trailer for you and show you this shit because dude, it looks cool as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm adding some zest to our podcast.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. You can see all the dumb windows I have opened up. Let me know once you're on the screen.
Okay, I'm watching.
Okay. So yeah. Dude, 4.7 million views. That's a lot for just a game trailer.
Hell yeah. Let's look at this. Let's see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, that fucking trailer looks so fucking good.
I'm not gonna lie, and it looks like every other fucking war game that I've seen. I don't know what's unique about it. Not to shit on it at all.
Well, because most war games will show that kind of stuff, but that was actually gameplay. Like you can legit like blow shit up.
Yeah, isn't Battlefield known for being like one of those games where like the scenery gets exploded and shit?
Yeah, like, but the last since like Battlefield 3 and 4, the destruction's been lacking so fucking bad. So to see that come back for Battlefield fans is a huge win. 2042 almost had like no destruction at all.
Yeah, the only thing I saw that was like I guess different than what I've seen before is the fact that you can drive the aircraft. Like I've not seen that.
No, you've been able to do that in all Battlefield.
Okay.
All Battlefield games you can do that. Yeah, there's jets, the helicopters, all that shit. Yeah, so like this one, what it does, it brings Battlefield back to form because Battlefield always has a class system where they have assault, recon, support, and medic. And the last Battlefield completely ditched that. They're like, no, we're gonna go to operators now, and you like each operator has their own skills, their own like things they do to level the battlefield and all this shit, and it just didn't work because it felt so. Like, it literally felt like Call of Duty at that point. It's like, that's what Call of Duty does. Like, why are you doing what Call of Duty does? Like, you've been doing your class system since day one, like, since the early days of Battlefield. And so with 2042, it just completely broke the structure of the game, and it just didn't feel right. And then the clunky mechanics, they copied the so Call of Duty started doing this thing called I forget, it's tactical sprint, where you double click your sprint button and you just run even faster. Well,
Okay.
Battlefield did that, and it just doesn't work in a Battlefield game. Like
Right.
the extra movement shit, it's like it's so unnecessary for Battlefield because there's more players on the map. There's a lot more going on. It's like you're not worried about like that kind of shit. We're more worried about like different ways to fight, different ways to like get in cover, not different ways to run away. It's like, and so they got rid of that for this new game. They brought back like a cover system to where like when you get prone, like you can peek around the cover and shit. Like they're bringing a lot of this to this game that we've been missing in Battlefield for years.
Well, yeah, man. Like I said, I'm not too big into these games. I'm not really big in the first person. I'm not really as much as I used to be, like into video games. But I tell you what, man, I am hyped for Resident Evil 9. What is it, Requiem or something like that? New Resident Evil will be coming out. I think it's like at the end of this year, next year, something like that. Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going
Yeah,
back to the horror roots. What's
yeah. A
nice
lot of
about
my
it?
friends are really hyped about
Well, see, Resident Evil's always been one of my favorite, if not sometimes my favorite franchise. But then, like, I stopped playing when it got first person. I'm one of those who just doesn't play first person, and I stopped playing them like that. Um,
And
but
see, and I
this
had a
one
lot of
gives them.
friends that didn't like it when I went first person, but then I have my friends that really liked it.
Well, this one is you can do either or, so I thought that was pretty cool. I guess she's going
Oh,
back
that's
to
cool.
Raccoon City, like where it all began, type shit. So it's supposed to be
I
literally
have
like an homage.
the only time I ever played a Resident Evil game is when you let me borrow your PS3.
Oh, what was it, Resident Evil 5?
At Resident Evil 6.
Oh, 6. Everybody hates that one. See,
Yeah, that's the one I played.
well, listen, I was, while I was playing the game, I was like, man, the gameplay's cool, but the story's ass. It's too short. You lost the point when you killed the main big bad. And all my friends, like when at the time that were playing it, the normal people that I was, when I went to you and I was talking to the other guys, they were all shitting on me. They were saying, Resident Evil 6 is like the best game ever made. Like they were all saying like how they were all hyping on it and like they were shitting on me and I was like, dude, no, this game ain't it. Like I said, the combat's cool. I like the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, but this is not
Yeah,
it.
like, a game can have an amazing gameplay, but if the storyline sucks, I lose all interest.
Well, you see, they tried to do too much for what they were capable of back then. But it's like you had like three different storylines. You didn't have a big bad that was worth the fuck because you just killed the big bad in the last game. And it's like you
Hmm.
just and people were they were like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Resident Evil 6 is God, and I'm like, well, then they finally eventually came to my side. I'm like, oh yeah, you weren't saying that when it came out. You were saying I was a fool. I liked Operation Raccoon City though. A lot of people shit on that. But yeah, before we get into some other
Right.
conspiracy topics, man, just a segue. I know you wanted to talk about your music. So
Yeah,
you got some stuff coming out.
yeah. So a lot of new things been coming into formation with my music, and I actually just got offered my first like real like work as a musician. So I've been producing for about a year now, like a little over. My first song came out last March. March 14th was the first release I ever did, and I started learning last January. So um, throughout this time, I haven't had like the most support, but I've had some support. Like I have friends that share my stuff. I get like a couple listeners here and there, but I've never really had like a stable like fan base. I haven't had like anything take off really. Um, so a lot of people would get discouraged with that, but for me, it's more for the love of the game, like just making music and just like doing what I love. And you know, time and time again, I do find myself getting discouraged. And lately, I haven't seen any results coming out of my music. I haven't gotten any like new fans, whatever. So I released a song last Friday called Chronic Illness, and I made a post about it. And in the post, I was like, here's me pretending to be an artist, because there's a lot of people in the music scene in Dayton that have heard my music, and I have caught wind of things that have been said about my music by some of these artists, and a lot of these people are claiming that I pretend to be a music producer. I'm not making my own stuff. That I'm, just only using samples, just putting the samples in the track, layering it, and then boom, saying I made a song. Um, and people saying that my shit sucks, whatever. I hear it all. And so I just kind of dogged to myself. I'm like, here I am pretending to be an artist, new song coming out. I've heard all this shit. Fuck you. I'm still going to do this. This is what I love to do. If you want to support me, whatever. Posted that. And then within 10 minutes, I got a message from someone that I knew her from high school, but we never really talked a whole lot. Her name's Hannah. And she does art. Like she's a painter, and she does like some of the coolest paintings I have ever seen. Like a lot of her stuff, she mixes like coral reefs, jellyfish, like a lot of like that kind of sea, like ocean vibe stuff. But she also mixes it with like space, galaxies, cosmos. Like she blends it all together, and it looks so fucking cool. And we've already talked before about her like working on an album cover for me whenever the time comes, and just like hanging out and doing like an art day or something where we like paint and stuff. And because me, dude, I've always been like a huge art person. And so she messaged me after I had promoted my song, and she said, hey, take yourself seriously, and everyone else will. Just keep doing what you're doing. And and she wasn't saying I wasn't taking myself seriously in my post. Like, obviously I don't, in a sense, but I still do like back my stuff up and say, hey, this is what I love to do. I'm still gonna put it out there and treat it like it's worth something. And she's like, you just need to keep that up. And she's like, but I also have a proposition for you. And I was like, okay. And so she tells me that she is going to be hosting her very first art gallery in November. And she was like, so if you're interested, I could use some lo-fi vibes for the event, like basically have you DJ the event, make some songs for it. And I was like, really? And she's like, if it's out of your element, I understand. And I'm like, no, listen, like I would love to do this because this gives me a chance to experiment with some new sounds, to like maybe discover if this is the kind of music I should be making and whatnot. Like it's a new avenue for me. And also it's publicity, because her terms, like with me doing this, she's like, I'll put you on the cards, I'll put your logo out there, I'll put you on the event for people to know that you're the artist in the music, and just get you free publicity. Because she's like, people are gonna come to this for, we're making flyers. The owner of the bar is telling, it's at not a bar, but it's at a lounge, and the person at the lounge, they're telling the patrons like, hey, this day we're having this event. So she's like, you're going to get publicity. And she's like, and then on top of that, she's like, that album art piece you're wanting commissioned, she was like, I will do that for free. She's like, whatever you want, whenever you need it, just let me know and I'll make it for you. And I was like, that is, for me, this is a huge win. I mean, most people would say, well, you're not getting money though. So what's the point? I'm like, well, for me, I'm getting free publicity.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah,
I'm getting artwork done. Yeah, I'm getting like, my stuff out there. I'm working with people, and then on top of this, we're in talks about like kind of getting our own community going, like our own community of like local artists. Like, doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're a creative person, you're cool. We're gonna start doing like hangouts where we all get together and start creating together, whatever it is, hosting events together, and just being a part of a community and really start building this scene in Dayton and really try to get something going. So I get to be a part of this, which is really cool. And out of this, dude, like, she motivated the absolute shit out of me. Because, dude, usually it takes me, like, weeks to put out a song. Because, like, yeah, I'm motivated, but, like, I'm just taking my time doing it because I don't really have, like, an end goal. Well, now, she's giving me until, like, October 25th to, like, come up with a couple songs to, like, put in there. And she's like, you can do like 5 or some odd songs, whatever songs you have that would fit the vibe. She's like, and then we can just put the playlist on repeat. She's like, because she's like, I really want this to like fit the vibe, whatever. Dude, I over the weekend we talked, we got things figured out. I got home Sunday morning. Sunday night I had a song finished.
Hell
Sunday night
yeah,
I had a
man.
song fully finished, mixed, mastered, done. And I told her that, and she was like, I need to hear it now. She's like, holy shit, that's amazing. Showed her the song, and she was extremely happy. She was like, dude, this is more than what I was thinking. Because she said lo-fi. Lo-fi doesn't work for me, dude. I like ED, I like dubstep, I like, itchy scratchy brain shit. And my form of stuff that I make is very grungy. It's very, it's very machine and trippy and stuff. That's kind of how my vibes go. So I ended up doing my own take on what I would make, like if I invented lo-fi, like what my, you know, how I would perceive it. Because when she was telling me about the music, she was like, make you feel like you walked into another dimension, like with the sounds and the atmosphere and all this shit. And I'm just like, okay, I got you. And so I built this track, and she loved it. And so I'm just like, building this track, I had a lot of fun with it. Like, I literally, what I'm doing is I'm taking old files of things that I have put together in the past and just seeing what works, what doesn't work, rebuilding what needs to be rebuilt, completely rescrapping things and rebuilding these, giving them new purpose because they didn't work back then. But with the knowledge I have now, dude, I've already have now 3 tracks since Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's like you just got to keep going. You'll keep getting better and better. I liked a lot of those ones you initially came out with. I'll be honest, I didn't understand the one that you showed me last. You said it was something more like a hardcore dubstep. I'd never heard anything like it. But of course, I'm not a big
That one's been
dubstep
scrapped.
fan.
That
The
one's been scrapped.
hentai
And
one.
actually, well, so what I'm gonna do, yeah, that one's done. Rule 34, I completely scrapped that project because it sucked.
I didn't
I think you actually
understand it.
might
That's why
like.
I didn't know if it was just a form of dubstep or what. I didn't understand it.
Yeah,
But
so what I was going to do to end our podcast today when we're done, I am going to play one of those new songs live in the podcast. So anyone listening in or watching the stream, they can get early, like they can have early ears to like a song that's not coming out for like another month.
no, yeah. Okay, we'll put that on the back burner for now. We were talking about like
Mm-hmm.
I mean we're the timer says 52 minutes, but it's more like 40 something because I had it on that the stream starting page for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
But
I'm just vibing, bro.
yeah, because I want to get to a few more topics because really we've only covered 4 of what I
Yeah.
would what we were going to talk about. Um,
But hey, there's always the next episode.
oh yeah, for sure. I don't think we're going to get to all these anyway. But one
Nah.
of the things I did want to talk about and is this idea. Okay, so like in the 1970s, radio astronomers had found some trans-Neptunian object. So this object beyond Neptune that was that was perturbing orbits, and they say that they imaged something out there and it was dark, right? So this started to hatch
Mm-hmm.
the idea of like a planetarium, Planet X. Of course, over the years, there's been so many people that have, uh, they've come out with this. Oh, it's here. It's in front of the sun. I'm taking pictures of it now because if it was that close, it'd be causing too much chaos. But it's like I'm one of those who's a proponent of it because, like, not only did they find something that was trans-Neptunian in the 70s, this was the beginning of like the climate change issues, right? And I'm not just talking about the Soviet-based, propaganda that we get about carbon and this and that, needing some kind of footprint control, the nonsense. But there is, in fact, climate change happening in the sense that there are now more than ever. There have been over, um, I can't remember. There's been hundreds of earthquakes in the last month that are like 5 and above. A volcano had recently erupted over after hundreds of years, right? All this
Mm-hmm.
activity going around, and in the outer solar system, like I think that the farthest planets are showing signs of being like brighter and meaning that they're hotter. Um, you know, there's other things that are happening with the solar system, not just us. So I look into other histories, right? And to say that there is perhaps an elliptical orbit based, secondary, or a binary or trinary system to our own is not as far fetched as it may seem. You know, because we've like studied space, the visible universe, right? And we have discovered a trend that a lot of them, and I mean a lot, a whole bunch of them. I don't know if I'd go as to say that there's more often than not a binary or a trinary system that are orbiting with each other. That we are kind of in the lesser of if it's that we only have one solar system, that we're kind of in the lesser of the two options. But the ancients and the earliest writings, the Akkadian cuneiform Sumerian tablets, talk about the Anunnaki, the one, or that's the Babylonian, the Sumerians, the Anunna, from the heavens they came, or the most important royal seed. You know, they're talking about coming from this planet, this red-hued volcanic planet called Nibiru, the planet of the crossing, right? And there's in the Hopi, the native Hopi tribes, they talk. There's some legends and other legends that talk about first in the skies comes the blue kachina of warning, and then the red kachina of cleansing. That before like there's always the cycle of destruction and renewal, right? There's been more talks of Planet X recently from more academic circles, but it's something I think we should really consider because, like I said, we did happen to find something. Something was perturbing orbits in the 70s, trans-Neptunian. Fast forward to today, the climate change is fucking insane, right? We're seeing more and more interstellar objects. All of these near misses with asteroids. It's just like I've come to this understanding, that like the Book of Revelation can be interpreted as a blueprint for like when this system comes in, because it's said to come in, like people vary depending on interpretation and translation. They say it comes in every 3,600 years. And what it's basically seeming like is that it's a dual system to our own, which would make us more common based on what we have seen out there. Because like I said, from what I understand, that there's a lot there. I'm not saying, because I don't know with 100% certainty if it's most, but it seems to be that there's a lot more than not a dual system or a trinary system, right? And when we have the ancients talking about it, Ragnarok, so many of these eshkatons, this end times beliefs around the world, has this destruction of the world and renewal. Okay, every time that this thing has come in, it's like in the most ancient texts, the gods, the first gods we have in our, because Sumeria is said to be our oldest civilization, like known civilization with history. And they're talking about, okay, so the Council of Gods doesn't warn their creation of man and their offspring and the things that are here of the impending flyby and cataclysm of their planet. Thus is what really triggers the original flood myth that it's like universal, right? And they have found, like,
right.
The idea is that it caused a pole shift and a mass freezing event, which would have caused the Ice Age. Now, I get that this isn't academia, but then when you consider, like, they found mammoths with buttercups, they're eating the buttercups, right? The mammoths? And they're flash frozen. As if it's still fresh in their mouths. Like these animals that were found flash frozen, right? As if something drastically changed in temperature and caused them to freeze, like flash frozen, right? It's just like, I think that, like I said, I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not one of those who's fear porning about it. But I do think that it could potentially be in our lifetime, if not our, our grandchildren or so forth, something within this time period. Because I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not going to say it's next week, but something's coming. I really do believe that. Like I said, it's just it makes more sense that we're like more common areas of space that we see, where there's a binary or a trinary system. It appears to be backed in our most ancient texts at the very least. Some people could say, well, why can't we see it? Well, when you combine the fact that it's talking about these, the alien gods, I mean, they could have a Dyson sphere over that, big old sphere over their star to hide, like it wouldn't, not to say hide it, but to harvest its energy. I'm just spitballing, but it's something I wanted to bring up because it's like, the closer it comes, and something similar is always in all of our myths, something revolving around this type of shit. We're getting more earthquakes, more crazy ass weather. Some advocate that it's artificially being engineered. I gotta say, the traditional climate change narrative of like, oh, we're putting too much pollution and carbon into the, we breathe carbon, we are carbon. We're not going to eliminate carbon without eliminating ourselves. And furthermore, that doctrine goes back to the Soviet Union. That's straight up communist bullshit. Like, I'm just saying, and they fudge the numbers with that shit, but that doesn't change the fact that there is some severe climate change issues, but not just on our planet, but on other planets in the solar system. And it's just been getting worse and worse. And I do believe that, I'm not saying it's even in our solar system, you feel me? But it's something out there that's getting closer that's fucking us up. Because it don't have to be like right next door to Earth for it to cause calamity. You see what I'm saying? Something like a big planet or a system or something being like that. It wouldn't necessarily have to be that close to really affect us. And it could be a lot closer than they're telling us. If it because it's starting to be taken seriously again. Like I said, this idea of a Planet X or Planet 10 hypothesis, because did you see how they recently did find a planetoid outside past Neptune?
No, I didn't.
Not to tangent off, but yeah, they had recently found a planetoid just outside Neptune. So, but yeah, I am one of those who sees like corroborating evidence, that there appears to be something trans-Neptunian just getting closer, and the old texts to the different end times mythoses, they all follow the same pattern with the same eschatological disasters. Then it ends with the renewal, the cleansing done by the red star. Like it's, and of course, the Nibiru is described as Planet of the Crossing is described as a red-hued volcanic planet. So that they say that it has heat from the inside. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because the climate change is becoming a real fucking problem. Like it's hot as fuck anymore. It's crazy ass fucking flooding.
Oh yeah.
Earthquakes. Volcanoes starting to erupt. Weird migration patterns with animals. It's just I think it has to do with the potentially coming in system. That like I want to reinstate that restate that I'm not one of those fear porn advocates. It could be decades away, but I do believe that's what's causing this shit.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, yeah, like I said, the gatekeepers in academia. I mean, they'll say this and that about it, and they'll boo-hoo the theory, but it's like you're also telling us that the binary and trinary systems are way more common. But we just happen to be another anomaly, Like I said, there's been so many near misses nowadays. You probably, maybe you've seen it. Like this was just a few days ago. They said there was a near miss. I do believe. So, and eventually, of course, in all these end times myths, there's the pelting of rocks. There's the falling. There's the wormwood of the Bible. The red dragon. It just seems like it's talking about the same stuff. Ragnarok of the Norse. It's talking about the destruction and renewal that happens with these cycles. But yeah, I wanted to bring that theory in because I just, it's something that's been on my mind. The more I see the climate issues. So
Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah, the like a lot of people just shit on the theory, and it doesn't help that there's been all these these goofy motherfucking conspiracy theories like low tier bait, you know whack jobs who will say like, look, there's something in front of the sun. That's Nibiru. No, because if it was that close, the fucking planet would probably be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that the trans Neptunian object that they found in the 70s is getting fucking closer. So yeah. I guess we don't have to go too much farther. I did want to talk about an interesting thing because we're at an hour and 5 minutes, so that's really about close to 50
Okay.
on um the world nowadays. It's interesting, especially with all the social media. It used to be you couldn't talk about Israel, you couldn't talk about Jews in any manner. You didn't even have to be like using slurs or any sort of hate rhetoric. Just to report on them would get you banned, right? Well, now you see it all over
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, over X, over which used to be Twitter. You see it on Instagram, you see it on YouTube. They're just allowing it like crazy, right? The starvation of the people in Gaza, the war, the genocide in Gaza. They did a poll, and it's like most of the fucking world is against Israel right now. And it's like that's a stark change, especially in America, where it's like there used to be so much about it, and now like most people hate Israel now, even in America, and it's like these people have done a whole lot of evil, throughout the decades since it's been a thing. I mean, having a part in the events of September 11th with like furthering Oded Yanan Greater Israel Project, talking about the five dancing Israelis that were involved. They were caught celebrating as the towers collapsed, and when they got detained by dual Israeli citizen Michael Chertoff. He when after ten weeks in a failed lie detector test, they finally got sent to Israel. They went on Israeli TV, right? And guess what they said? So they were asked,
Hmm.
what you were doing there? Are you members of Mossad still? It's like, this is an exact quote. We come from a nation that experiences terror daily. We were here to document. We were there to document the event. You see what I'm saying? Like what do you mean you went there to document the event? And furthermore,
That's weird.
there was Odigo chat firm, a chat firm based in Israel, had advanced prior, like they had foreknowledge, even a day in advance, right? Larry Silverstein, who is a Jewish Zionist, and often talks about how he's communicating with the Benjamin Netanyahu over there, the prime minister. Um, they got an insurance. He got an insurance policy, you know, on the twin towers in case of a terrorist attack, like literally weeks before. He wanted like $4 billion. It just so happens that most of the Jews who was working there weren't working that day. Shit like that. I mean, there's so many other fingerprints on 9/11 that all of this shit's eventually going to really become surfacing in the mainstream of people's minds. But it starts with this catalyst that's making everybody hate Israel is their starvation of the Gazans. You seen what they're doing over there?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Man, they're fucking savages to them people, man. They got them people starved out, looking like little anorexic, like these little kids. They're bombing them and shit. Like they're fucking blown up and shit, like seasoned. They're starving out real bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like this is what's got the whole world angry. But they're going to be even more angry when they see all the other connections. And like I was just scratching the surface of the Israeli involvement in 9/11. Not even getting into people like Dov Zakhaim, the Zionists involved with the Defense Policy Board, and all of these other things. But it's going to keep happening, and it's like the world is turning on Israel, and it's like it's about damn time. I mean, you know how I've always been about this shit, but it's like it's finally coming to the
Oh yeah.
surface about this shit. You know, the people are connecting Mossad to Jeffrey Epstein. You know, it's just what it's weird though, like the fact that they would never allow these things, right? And then X allows it, and now everybody's allowing things to be said about Israel. Like this will eventually be on YouTube, right? But if I uploaded this video like months ago, or you know, over a year ago, it would get flagged for hate speech. But it won't. I guarantee it's not going to, because this is just like where we're at in this stage of the game, where a lot of people are talking about Israel. So
Right.
it's just like, is this the time for like, is this where we start to go after the boogeyman? It's like you've allowed these people to do dirty things, and then you got to progress like this and that with the dirty work you did overseas and the wars on terror, and then what are we gonna you're gonna finally get rid of your stooge? It's like to add one more segment into this shit that's kind of combined into this. You've heard of Mayor Rothschild, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the alleged trillionaire family that who's one of their matriarchs said if my sons didn't want war, there'd be no wars, having their fingers and everything. Banks, he's got people, he's got nations in debt to him, right? Like actual nations. But here's the thing, like I was taking a step back, war gaming in my head. It's like this guy's a boogeyman. Like when I'm piecing it together with how they're exposing Israel now, all the crimes of Israel, the Zionists, bringing up Chabad Lubavitch, the radical extremist group that has their messianic end times tinge, and allowing these things which they never used to, I've come to this conclusion that they are preparing some sort of event horizon where they're going to be taking these elements down, and they're going to identify these people as the heart of the corruption, and they're going to create a narrative. And I think they're going to say, well, look, this is one of the big bad boogeymen. Mayor Rothschild, the dynasty. And you should look into Lord Rothschild. He passed away, but that dude has like a slight cone head. He's probably one of them fucking hybrids, dude. Like, yeah, you look at pictures of Lord Rothschild, he looks like his head is like, it kind of goes like it's weird. But I do think that he's he's there to be a boogeyman. I started thinking strategically, and I'm like, they're allowing all of this shit to be said because they want to start this narrative up, and they're going to need a catalyst. They're going to need a boogeyman. They're going to need a face for the evil. So they're going to take the face that's been there. You see what you kind of get what I'm saying? And the more that I've looked into the Rothschilds, I don't see anybody that talks about this group. I don't see them saying that. And I think that that's odd. I do think that, because a lot of people, don't understand that, they say Zog this and that, which I would agree to an extent. They don't understand just how much we gain from these things as well. But, wargaming, it's like, the fact that they're allowing these things to be said now, I don't want to repeat myself, but the more that's been coming out, I mean, these clips are getting, these videos, these clips, these red pill clips are getting like, even one of mine got over 15,000 views on X. You see what I'm saying? So, just adding them all up, millions of people have seen this, all of these, seeing these clips about, Israeli baggage, Rothschild this, Rockefeller that, on top of the Gaza shit, when the world is now completely pretty much against Israel, that there's arrest warrants out for Benjamin Netanyahu. It's just like, I used to be on that persuasion that's like, no, Zog has got it in the bag, but now I'm starting to think more and more that it's just time to get rid of a boogeyman. It's time for this domino to fall. It's time for this Jenga piece to be taken out. You see what I'm saying? So I would expect that you will start to see the crimes of Lord Rothschild and the dynasty of Mayor Rothschild being the big boogeyman. Not to say that he doesn't do bad. Obviously he does. And the groups that do this. But I'm just saying this will be the face. Like Epstein's the face of the sex trafficking cabal, right? You're going to see, well, then the banking cabal and a lot of the, geopolitical things, the face is Rothschild. The syndicate Zionist. It's going to tie back to the Soviet Union. Synagogue of Satan, all of this and that. So I see this narrative playing out, and it's like I cannot see it any other way that they're setting up boogeymen basically to fall. So yeah, that was kind of a thing I wanted to talk about. Is there another topic on hand that you wanted to talk about, man?
I think we're covered for this episode, man.
Okay, let me see where we're at. Um, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should leave it at that. I mean, we covered some pretty good stuff. Uh, I think next time we could talk about the Anunnaki, the strange anomalies with the moon, anything else you want to talk about, this and that. I wanted to talk about quantum physics and stuff like that. But we got a pretty good amount covered this time. So, is there anything besides your music that you're going to play? Is there anything you want to talk about, like with any for example, anything you're coming out with, or I know you were talking about your lo-fi.
Yeah. So I do have some singles coming out. I have one coming out August 22nd, and then I have one coming out in middle of September.
Hell yeah! Everybody be on the lookout for that shit. Digifits.
Yeah,
Of course, I'm
yeah.
in the
These are
production.
completely unlike my normal shit.
Oh yeah. Well, everybody knows me, King Majora. So, I've started the process of my latest album, Exegesis. But I have one song out. But I expect another one. I'm working with the Zodiac, somebody I worked with before a long time ago. We're going to be coming out with a nice. It's a different type of track. I'm trying to go for a different feel. I don't know. Did you hear "Feels Good Man"? Did you actually hear the "Feels Good Man" song? Because I know
I don't
sometimes you
think
keep up with
so.
what I do. It's different. I liked it personally. I thought it was a different feel.
Yeah, because you're on SoundCloud. I don't check out
No,
SoundCloud
I'm
very,
on
but I actually
YouTube
just
now.
updated my SoundCloud. I have all my tracks on it now. Oh,
You know
are you?
you can.
Oh yeah,
You,
shit. I keep forgetting. Yeah, you are.
I mean, you can find all my shit. I made it convenient. You can go to kxngmajora.com, kingmajora.com, and that goes right to all my links. Kingmajora.com's
Hell
got all the
yeah.
links. So, to all the socials, all the goodies. But yeah, like I said to people, be on the lookout for Exegesis. Like I said, it's supposed to be different.
I'm sure there'll
Um,
be a Majora and Digifits collab at some point.
oh yeah, we got to do that
Have you
eventually.
rap on? Oh yeah. Okay, so you're gonna choose the song I play because I got two that I'm willing to play.
Okay.
Uh, Now one of them is my favorite one, but the majority like the other one more. Now there is a song called "Dark Matter," and then there's a song called "Infractions."
Let's hear Dark Matter.
All right, "Infractions" is my favorite one. "Dark Matter" is actually the one that's coming out in this month.
Well, shit, play your
So
favorite one.
no, you chose "Dark Matter." We're going "Dark Matter."
Okay.
The other one has more of a trance kind of vibe to it too.
Okay.
Like it's a very slow one. This one has more of a steady build up too. But let me go ahead and get this shit started. So we'll share my screen again. I'm gonna have the artwork for it up too. So yeah, this is the artwork for Dark Matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will go ahead and get this playing. This is Infractions artwork.
Okay.
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark.
I was molded by it.
I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already alive.
Hell yeah, Dark Matter by Digifits, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to get that win. Or get that win.
This drops August 22nd. Sorry, I had myself muted.
Gotcha. No, that was good. I like that. That was
But
definitely
yeah,
different than what you usually do. Like, it was a different vibe and everything.
thanks. Yeah, so funny enough, this is actually, it's not like a complete remix. It's I took a lot of the pieces from one of my old songs called Void, and
Okay.
I completely repitched it, reverbed it, slowed it down, and then added a bunch of new instrumental pieces and some new areas and
Here,
rebuilt new structures in it. And
hold on, can you turn the screen off so I can get it to where it just does?
oh yeah, shit, sorry. Hold up. There we go. Boom.
Yeah. So,
But
that
yeah,
was good. I like that. I like that. That was definitely
yeah.
different.
Thanks. Yeah, that I showed that one to Hannah, and she really liked it, and she's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm looking for." So, doing the right stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for that. Well, what do you think, man? Should we call it a night?
Hell yeah, man! I'm actually gonna be heading to bed here in a moment, so
Hell yeah.
it's been a great one.
Yeah, we'll have to do the next show here soon. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for witnessing Misfits and Termina with King Majora and Digifits. We'll see you all next time.